Lead us, Eddie Money. You give us a team, and then Rafa and
Right.
I will give you a fit.
All right, I'm gonna start with the obvious. Good, the
The
Raiders.
Raiders,
Yeah,
man. You know what? And I was talking about this yesterday. Fucking what I think. And you know, I talked shit about Mike Vrabel 2 years ago. Remember, Eddie? How I thought
Yes.
they
No.
would
No.
fire
No.
him. I thought they would fire him. They should have fired him earlier. And what I think it is kind of like, uh, I'm quick to judge these fucking head coaches, right? But Mike
It's what we
Vrabel,
do.
Mike Vrabel did go have a 13-3 year, and Mike McCarthy has won a Super Bowl. And I think what happens with these coaches is they get to a point where like it's just not working where they're at. And so team people complain, oh, you're recycling the same head coaches, but for the most part, and some of these guys, Mike Vrabel type, I think McCarthy, I think those guys just need a fresh start somewhere. So I would for the Raiders and for any team, for the Raiders especially because they don't have what is going to be their defining unit. In my opinion, whatever you're going to focus on your best unit being, if your best unit is defense, then I would hire a defensive head coach. It's my opinion. If you're the best unit. And that's just my opinion with the Raiders. If your best unit is going to be your offense, then you try and hire Ben Johnson. You try and hire Matt Nagy. I wouldn't hire Matt Nagy because I think he's a career assistant at like Spags for me. I think those are career offensive defensive coordinators.
Yeah.
I don't think they're a head coach.
Matt Nagy's not drawing up. Okay. Roll to your right. Do a backspin. Fake pump right, and then run for a first down for 8 yards. Matt. I mean, listen, we could probably both fucking coordinate for fucking Patrick Mahomes, and we'd look good. I agree with you, Rafa. And you were ahead of the curve on Vrabel, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of a shocking statement, but I agree with you. Um, I do think they should go defense. First of all, because obviously everyone wants Ben Johnson, everybody, but you got to be realistic. Ben
Right.
Johnson's not going to a place where the cupboards are empty. Why would he do it? He has wherever whatever job he wants, he can go to. And then why would you go to a loaded AFC West where all three teams made the playoffs and then you're already, fighting out of a corner? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and I think they're years behind at quarterback. Like what Denver has with Bo
Yeah.
Nix and what the Chargers have with Herbert. And yeah, Bo Nix is a rookie, but fuck, 10
Yeah.
wins, like 10 wins with not a lot on the offensive side of the ball is very impressive for Bo Nix. I think he's way ahead of the curve. And then you have Herbert and obviously Patrick Mahomes there. So I think you're 2 years probably behind just at quarterback in your division. So yeah, for me it would be Mike Vrabel for I think for me, if I'm the Jets, if I'm the Raiders, I'm Mike Vrabel. I want my defensive unit to be the best and a unit that I have because of what I have. Like you said, the cupboards are empty on offense for the
Yeah.
Raiders. You have one guy and it's a tight end. He's phenomenal and all pro, but
I'll give you one more, and you brought this up weeks ago, and this will be shocking. I wouldn't mind Pete Carroll. He's a culture guy. He's 73 years old. His jaw's chiseled. He runs on a treadmill. He chews gum like he's fucking on meth. He has the energy. He knows how to rebuild a program. He knows how to change a culture. I would not hate Pete Carroll in Vegas.
Dude, I like Pete, but I would love Pete to just go back to USC and just be like, dude, I'm the shit. Come back here, bring this program to the top 10 again. Are you kidding? That would he's already cemented as a great college coach. In my opinion, he's 5 or 6. But if you came back to SC, took them to the playoffs, maybe fucking semifinal, from one year to the next, or maybe even 2, that would put Pete right behind Nick Saban. He's not going to catch Nick Saban, of course, but I don't think Pete comes back to a team that is kind of rebuilding. It's almost a big rebuild. They have 3 players, 4 players, maybe.
Yeah. If that.
Realistically, yeah. So for Pete, I think Chicago would make more sense. roster wise. Like it feels like a team that's closer to
Mhm.
getting to the playoffs than the Raiders, in my opinion. Although in a super tough division.
Yeah, it's not a crazy opinion. What's next, Eddie Money?
Matthew Rocha said, he said USC versus UNC in the college football playoff. Intercepted at the goal line.
Wow.
Factoids.
But he brought
That'd
up the next team that I was going to bring up. He said the Saints, and he thinks that's where Ben Johnson goes.
My goodness. I'll go first. Ed. Just he
Yeah,
mentioned
go first.
he mentioned Ben Johnson. I mean, I would have trouble for Ben Johnson to. I don't see Ben Johnson going to a team that's not that ready, but that division is not very good. Like we just saw it. We literally saw it on Sunday. You had two teams that played two opponents in their division that weren't very good, and both barely won. Like if you watch that Tampa game, they barely squeaked by.
Crazy.
Like, and Atlanta lost outright. And I know going into overtime, like it didn't fucking matter. But dude, your defense allowed 38 points in regulation. Like, and after playing a really good defense the week before. So that division, I can see that, but I can't see it. Like at this point, I don't know who the Saints would hire, but I would assume it's probably an offensive minded coach. I don't think they would go defensive minded. But I just don't know. I don't know for the Saints who I don't see Ben Johnson going to New Orleans. But hey, if the money's right, it could happen.
I don't see it either. I think would be a really good hire, which is a name that has been brought up for the Raiders, like the offensive coordinator for the Bucks. He knows his division. Is this Baker Mayfield just being fucking awesome? Or, they've had injuries. That offense has been pretty fucking good without forgetting his name.
Godwin?
Godwin. That offensive coordinator is getting a lot of hype. He's a McVay guy. He's been with the Rams. So, if you've rubbed shoulders with McVay, automatically you are a candidate for anything. So I would go with the offensive coordinator from Tampa Bay to be the head coach. I'm so sorry. He has a stupid name, but that's who I would go with in Nolans.
All right, then the last team, we kind of touched on it last week, but the Jets. I know Rafa said that he thinks that would be the perfect place for Brian Flores.
I do. I still think it should be Brian Flores. Defensive minded. That's your best unit by far. You have an aging quarterback that if you decide to keep him, and I think it'd be a perfect fit for Brian Flores. Tough defense, and they have a good draft pick. They're at number 7, and I saw a mock draft that had wide receiver at number 7 for the Jets. The Jets are not drafting a wide receiver at number 7 because they have other needs like fucking offensive linemen.
Yeah.
The block so you can actually run the football.
Yeah.
So your defense doesn't play for fucking.
Yeah. Oh, you froze up on me. You know what?
Can you hear me?
That is the right hire. Yeah, the right hire is 100% Flores. But for podcast purposes and TV purposes, I want to see our boy Rex Ryan. He's first of all, he's begging for the job. He bleeds the green, if you want the job that bad, like he's just been he's begging for it. I would lowball him, and who cares? I think he'd do it for fucking free at this point.
Probably would.
And Jets, just like the Raiders, we've been in disarray for so long. If this guy, and the last time you were good, I mean, you had fucking Mark Sanchez take you to the fucking AFC fucking championship. That Mark Sanchez,
He did. He beat the Patriots in that game, by the way, to get to that championship game.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see the Rex Ryan get it, just because I think it'd be great for TV.